Baby doll pumpkin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, we are sitting in the same price zones. Bitcoin around 29,000. Don't forget, we are not expected to move anytime soon. Everybody is waiting. Yeah, we can go up, can go down. Who cares? On the weekly chart, we are still in the green zone. This is basically slowly pumping up the balloon. I want things to move super fast too, but really at the end of the day, be honest with yourself. I've shown you so many charts by now. We are not allowed to get any rise in our libidos unless we are closer to the Bitcoin halving. And unfortunately, it is in April 2024. Now, the market's a smarty pants. The market can pre-front run it. Of course, it has before. So we will get some sort of excitement because of the BlackBerry ETF coming before Mr. Lizard Man comes and dumps on us. But at the end of the day, we are using this time to explore other altcoins. And that's why today I'm going to show you what's going on with HEX, Pulse, and PulseX. And a lot of people ask me, what about the other altcoins? But look here, baby dolls, I can go through all the other altcoins, and I've told you so many times, they're good, but they're not good enough for me. So firstly, you need two things. You need to be good, all right, and I'll give you a tick. But then you got to be cheap, okay? If you aren't cheap, I'm sorry, you're going to get friendship denied. Non-confirmation of friendship, okay? If you are cheap, you're great. If you're expensive, I don't want to touch you, all right? I don't want to touch you with or without your consent. I don't want to touch you with a pole with fluffy slippers attached to the end of them, okay? This is Cardano. Cardano, by the way, we can't look at this price here because everybody's been talking about it. It was even cheap back in November last year. But look at this, man. This is Cardano versus ETH. You're only going to get a 3x. A 3x on your Ethereum. You have to sell this range, by the way, because there's so much competition. Yeah, I mean, I hope it goes to the freaking moon, but you got to get something out here. It's not cheap enough. And what about MATIC? Yes, MATIC. We got 13 Indian dudes to control everything. Of course, I love MATIC. I made money on MATIC in the last bull market. It was sick. It was one of my prophecies, but it's not cheap. The Ethereum maxis are pretending like it's some sort of decentralized haven, but the Ethereum maxis, I mean, God bless their souls, they are getting paid as ICO advisors. They're on the team. And you know what? I don't even care because it's just not cheap enough. Who cares whether they're on the payroll or not? If Cardano, if MATIC, right, was all the way down here, okay, I'm going to buy you. I'm going to sniff you very hard and I'm going to buy you. But you're not down here, okay? Because if you buy down there and you ride it back to the top of the range, you can get a 13x on your Ethereum. That's insane. What do you do back here? Okay, buy your nice little MATIC. Wow, 95%. Congratulations. What a waste of time. You may as well go leverage trade. Like, you only got a 2x on your ETH. It's not worth risking the whole bullet because that's your downside. You wake up tomorrow, there's a bug. You're risking the whole ETH for a 2x on your ETH? Not worth it, friends. What about Changpeng coin? So Binance coin, this is the BNB ETH ratio. I always chart against Ethereum. Don't show me any chart unless it's not on Ethereum, friends. When I show you USD, it's like looking at an OnlyFans porn page, okay? You want to get a bit sexy, a bit racy. Yeah, US dollar. That's I know what you want to see, but I don't look at these. I don't really care. I look at the ETH ratios for everything. Yes, BNB was great. Guess what? Yours truly, your friend bought BNB in the last cycle, and yeah, he made like a 3 to 4, 5x on my Ethereum. It was one of my prophecies. Congratulations, Changpeng. You are awesome. But right now, BNB, you are not cheap, all right? You are not cheap. Okay, give me some Changpeng coin down 90% from the top. Okay, I'll buy it down here, and sweet, we'll ride up for a 10, 11x. Awesome. But you're only down from the top, only down 50%. You are only halfway to being cheap. If you buy here, you got to get out like here. Congratulations, only 90% on your Ethereum. That's not cheap. So now I'm just going to show you the power of asymmetric upside, which is what actually the whole point of crypto is, for asymmetric upside. Despite everybody, they want to buy everything up 9x and then get the final 2x. You're going to get destroyed doing that. Okay, it's just going to take 1 or 2 screw-ups and a bad year, and it's going to ruin everything. So this is eHEX, right? But let's be intellectually honest. Let's put it up to the real price. I think the real price would be around here because you're going to do the total hex, all right? If you got here all the way to the top, congratulations, you get a 10x on your ETH, okay? And by the way, the price isn't even really that much. It's actually around here. The real price you're buying at right now, yeah, man, that's great. 12x on your Ethereum. And you're earning yield. Isn't that special? Like, think about this. I just told you, plus 90%, plus 90%, plus 2 or 3x if you're lucky. versus a 12x on your Ethereum. Like, it's not even in the same league right now. And there's all this engagement here. So it is what it is. You can go peer pressure yourself. You can try wear brown crumpled slippers. You can go drink room temperature water all you want and sit on squares that don't squeak from time to time. I'm not going to be tainted by these peer pressure things to do anything. That's why I'm telling you, cheap is cheap. What people want to know is, okay, if I think it's cheap, why doesn't anyone else think it's cheap? Well, let me explain, friends. The market doesn't work the way you think it works. Have you heard of a little coin called Bitcoin? Okay, it is the spear, otherwise known as spear, or if you're from the UK, spare, or from the land of Espanol, they call it lanza. Okay, the spear leads the market and confidence and optimism. Okay, and also gives us fear and dread on the way down. People don't buy the cheap stuff until the safe thing is expensive. I've traded spreads my whole life, okay? Not those types of spreads, friends. I've traded spreads, equities, bonds, yield curve. I've touched all of them, okay? I've touched every single one of them. My fingerprints are everywhere. Don't put me in a police station. I'm guilty of everything. I'm telling you right now, I know how they work, okay? Spreads disconnect. So if you have a spread between your poop coin and the leader, it's going to go down and down and down and down and down. But then if you're watching the outright, which is just one leg, when Bitcoin starts to get expensive, the new people come in, they go, hang on, if Bitcoin's going to 100,000, which everyone thinks, if it goes to 100,000, when Bitcoin's at like 60, they're like, wait a minute, why am I leaving my whole portfolio in Bitcoin if my upside from here is only 90%? That's actually garbage. And what happens is other people at this point, they start to rotate to the poopy coins, okay? What we call poopy coins, okay? If you're joking, okay? Yes. And then they'll start to buy our underpriced assets. And that's how everything flushes upwards because there's not enough money to go in through the liquidity pools, which because it's too tiny. I mean, there's too much money. There's not enough offers to sit there to absorb everybody. That's how this game works. So you might also say to me, well, why don't you wait for this point? The problem is you don't know when or how that point is. And what you might find is our altcoin. So let's go look at HEX, for example. We might find that by the time Bitcoin 60K, HEX is already here. Okay, so already you have already done the first 3.6x. And so if you wait for Bitcoin to hit that point of inflection and try to gamble, look what you're only going to get, the next 2x. Do you see? That's why people who don't take risks, you don't make money. If you wait for the confirmation, you're going to get a 2x. But if you're here sitting here taking the risk, what are you going to get? Look at this. You're going to get 13, 14, 15x on your Ethereum. 13x. So let me tell you, what's a bigger number, 13 or 2? Exactly. And Altcoin Daily, the biggest YouTube channel, frequent uploaders, right? Friends of this channel, wink, wink, I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so Altcoin Daily have made these top 10 videos, top 7 coins to explode in August. And they're actually talking about HEX. Now, I'm telling you right now, Mr. and Misters, both of the Misters at Altcoin Daily, the twins, they are not contrarian. And when I watched their video, I was like, you know what? I think before they blocked me, they watched my videos and I sounded pretty convincing because there's no way these guys would ever touch this with a 10-foot pole. So let's just show you right what I mean. So I have been blocked by them. Now, this is very common, friends. As I've already explained it here, okay? As a man of the people, I come with a cost, okay? There's a price here to be paid. So being a man of the people has its cost. While other influencers are sucking off the plays in the circuit, and I'm going to explain to you what that is, I'm here keeping you informed, healthy, and wise. So I know you guys don't know this, but there's an influencer formula out there, okay, which I'm not following, okay? I'm literally out by myself doing my own thing. We're making our own community, friends, okay? The other influencer formula is go up, get some viewers, you get the poo-poo leverage exchanges to shill you, okay? You sign up with them. Then if you get to 100K, guess what happens? You can start being on what they call the circuit, okay? Now, they do this in media. So basically, I'm not going to name any names. Go and watch these streams and videos. The biggest influencers, they have shows where all of them appear. And they do that so they keep the power and the views within their own circles. So they have the same ICO shields, the same insider deals, the same sponsorship. They keep the same views and they maintain all their power. They're basically just repeating what humans normally do when they have a tribe and they got a cool club, whatever. But to do this, you have to bend over backwards, okay, no lube, and you literally have to put objects in your orifices just to be a part of this crew. But here's the thing. You might say, why don't you go do it? The problem is that involves shilling you absolute trash. I'm not going to do that. And here I am showing you, for example, they accepted like 100K plus for Volt into this absolute trash. I explained to you, like, this is a coin. I know what's going on. I can't here with a good conscience go to sleep telling you, well, yep, I ruined someone's life today. Because they know what they're doing, friends. They know what they're doing, man. Look at this. It's a migration scam. I explained it. I even showed the previous charts. Migration scam. You launch one coin and then you slowly dump on people. And when everybody sees that coin is dead, you say, oh, we're doing a new upgrade. The new upgrade's going to have NFT, DeFi, layer 1, Chinese stuff, and artificial intelligence, and there'll be an OnlyFans. And what happens is you get a new round of buyers, and then they slowly dump again. So this is just one of like 30 examples of the way they scam. But yeah, you know what? It gets me blocked. It gets me blocked because I call it out, because I don't care. I'm not here to sit here and be their friends. They're not our friends, man. How do you think we actually got... How do you think we got destroyed, friends? We got destroyed because there was no one out here making videos like this saying like, you know what? Everyone's actually a fraud. And when everyone's excited, we got to be selling. No one's actually doing that, man. Instead, what they're saying is, Bitcoin's going to $490,000. So that's why I found it very fascinating. I was like, wait a minute. How come they talk about HEX now? That's very weird. Because, friends, now you know why. When you go to yours truly, your baby doll here, someone for... This is just listen, it's a joke, friends. Why does this guy... Why does this guy... Why do my head here, why do I have a buy Bitcoin sign when my whole thesis is that Bitcoin's a Trojan horse and you got to buy altcoins? I mean, that's the funniest part of all. If you watch the channel, if you know me, you understand really what's going on, but it works. People listen because they see a buy Bitcoin sign. That's what I want to do, friends. I don't care about these views. These views mean nothing. Your views, your subs, they all mean to me, but these are just numbers. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is you got to win, and not everyone can win, but we will win. So yeah, it's cool talking about HEX, contrarian play, surprise, surprise. I mean, it's one thing to say you are doing it, but it's another thing to actually hold through it, friends. You're going to be surprised. I guarantee you there are people right now, they own HEX, PulseX. I guarantee you they're going to sell on the 2 or 3x on the way up, and it's going to be the biggest regret of their life, okay? It's going to kill them because there's going to be 50,000 reasons why it said it was going to eventually snap back and they were able to quit too early. So don't forget, I could show you all this information here. For example, total HEX. Okay, we got a long way to cover ground, man. Like even if you don't believe, even if you think, okay, is HEX gonna stop at 50 cents or $1 or $5 or $1 million? It doesn't really matter. Do this information, man. Like we sold off on PulseChain, okay, and to get back total HEX. This is not one of the hexes. If you just had half and half, eHEX and pHEX, you get 328% if it goes back to the testnet version 3 prices. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum price sentiment change, we just start streaming again, it's very easy to just tweak some stuff. Like 328%. I'm not even gonna say it's a no-brainer because we have peanut brains. We don't have brains anyway, but it really is like, where is the value? I showed you MATIC, I showed you BNB, I showed you these. Where is the value here? Like if Binance was down 93% and the SEC is going after them, I'd be like, you know what? I think there's some asymmetric play here because Binance is cheap. We can ride it back for a 13x on Ethereum. But the problem is no one is falling for it. You see this, friends? You got to find something good and cheap. If it's not cheap, it doesn't fulfill it because you can buy the best thing in the world and it can be too expensive. You can buy Apple and Tesla at the top. You can buy Bitcoin at 65,000. You can buy HEX at 50 cents. You can buy Chainlink at 50 bucks. Okay, you could have bought Doge at 70 cents. That is a completely different story than buying them 18 months before that point. You know that. That's why I like this. This is Pulse. Maybe you've heard of it. PLS, asymmetric upside. All right, Eric. Shout out to Eric Wall. Going to lose his bet when we hit 10x. Like, I'm begging you, Eric. Please try to negotiate the deal so that make it exciting. Try make it the number like 50x. I wonder if people would take that bet where PulseChain has to close 2 months. It's got to close above 50x. That'll be an interesting bet. I wonder how many people will take that. Like, it's got to finish 2 months above 50x, so 0.0050. That'll be an interesting bet. Not this little poopy town 10x. Like, come on, man. And of course, we have PulseX as well, friends. A lot of us are in. It is below the whales, the biggest whale volume multiplier. They're going to move in the same ratio, I hope, but don't be too scared or nervous, okay? I'm adding HEX, I'm adding Pulse, just because we're in the middle of the range here. I personally don't switch anything, but if Pulse gets a mania and PulseX can't catch up and they send it down here, okay, it's time to go all in. But right now we're in the no diddle zone. No diddle zone means like you don't want to be caught off guard if it goes anywhere here. That's why I'm just assuming the market's kind of right. Doesn't really like PulseX being that high. But hey, it's still cheap. Still cheap. Play around with the ratios as much as you want. Just make sure you own all of them, and you got to bet on the ecosystem altogether. And here is both of the HEX charts. So if you're on Dex Screener, some of you want to know, all you can do is you see this little plus sign. If you add, you can actually add here another coin, and you can add eHEX and pHEX together. So this is why this orange line is eHEX. The normal candles are pHEX, as you can see here, right? It's not the combined total price, because I don't know if they let you multiply or add them, but hopefully they'll be able to add that soon. So these are just zones to reclaim for the hexes here, okay? So if they get back up here, either of them, testnet version 3 reclaimed up here, right? This is like the long way, 12.7 cents. 19 cents is the fake launch. Now that PulseChain's out, I mean, like, it's sad, like, PulseChain was gonna get launched, it's 19 cents, and then PulseChain real launch is only 1.9 cents. It's 90% lower. So there's some sort of discrepancy, still the news going on, okay? So, and also Mr. Hex house seller Mikey bought 41 cents in the documentary. These are just nice zones for marketing. Don't take them too seriously. You need these levels so that when we cross them, see what I did? I've done everyone a favor here. This is why, as your friend, right? As your friend here explaining, when people just say, Hex cost 10 cents, who cares? No one knows. Did it used to be $100? The average person doesn't know, okay? But when you say, Hex has reclaimed its testnet price, now people are thinking differently, okay? Or Hex is still under where they bought it in the documentary. It's still cheap. Do you see this? Now you can put a story to the prices. Whether you just put 5, 10, 15, 20, no one knows. Okay, we know because we're in the game. You always got to think about the new people coming in, friends. And what to expect for the future. So I've made this video, right? So why hasn't Richard streamed? I want to just bring something to your attention, okay? So if any of you are familiar with horror games, I used to play Resident Evil on the PlayStation. Do you see this camera angle? This is a fixed camera angle style. So when you're moving around, the player moves around the map, and then the camera has these fixed positions as you move in, okay? So to our surprise, what ended up happening was when they made Resident Evil 4, it was very controversial at the start, but it became the best-selling game of all time because they changed that camera angle. So everybody who was used to horror, they had 3 games, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, were playing the same camera angle, and everybody wanted to stick to the formula. But the creators, Capcom, they're like, nah, we're going to change up the game. And this was an enormous risk to take. And as you can see now, when you run around, the camera just focuses behind the player. Now, this tiny little change literally turned it from super popular to the most popular. It was like a huge risk. Most big founders, leaders, CEO companies, they do not take these types of risks, friends. But when we're dealing, for example, in the land of crypto, you have to do these because it's hyper competitive out there. If you don't try to be the fastest horse, look how many altcoins out there are with you competing. It's so hard to differentiate yourself because there's no visual discrepancies between BNB or MATIC or Phantom or any of these. Like me and you, we see the same thing. We're just clicking buttons on the internet. So I want you to just keep that in your mind because I've made this video, right? So when's Richard Hart going to stream? We're going to stream, and I explained so many things about there's conflicting marketing messages now about what's going on. But at the end of the day, you got to think about it in terms of growth. So yes, he is unfortunate. So to grow, friends, yes, to grow up, there has to be some negative somewhere. We have to do away with some old stuff. And we got to remember, this is what happens, man. This is why it's so much easier. Don't even watch the chart because you're trying to watch Richard Hart. He does research. He's not going to come report to you. He doesn't work for anybody but himself. He's not going to show you some really cool thing that Vitalik did. For example, I don't know if you guys know, but Vitalik travels the world internationally. So that's one thing that Vitalik does, right? So he goes around different conferences around the world, different countries. He knows different languages. He's very universal worldly. Now, I don't know if Richard's going to do anything like this, okay? I don't know how big his visions actually are. So this is something where you're just going to have to take the risk. That's what we don't know, right? He's not here chatting with you saying like, hey, I've analyzed everything about Vitalik traveling the world and I think I need to do it. He's not going to tell you that. And on the other hand, he's not going to tell you, I don't think I need to do it because we can do something a better way. How about I set up system ABC and other people do it, like, or maybe he says he likes the way that Matty Allen is already doing the PulseChain conferences, or maybe it's better for him to just donate and fund them. Do you see all these executive decisions, friends? That's why these people, they're not me and you, okay? Me and you, we are literally just little humble peanut brains, and I really do mean that. We're just little humble peanut brains. That's all we got, this little peanut rolling around, and all I know is, I'm like, you know what? If you could only deal with today or fast forward 5 years from now, right? If this guy had a coin, is it going to be up higher or lower than today? That's it. That's all you can do. Is it higher or lower than today? See, we're trying to like figure out how much higher. You know, is it a 10? Is it 1,000? Is it 400? Is it 200? Then only 10, then back to 1,000? We don't know. That's why this stuff will stress you out. But at the end of the day, you just got to look at the facts. And the facts are, we got a peanut brain, and we're betting on the system being bigger and better in multiple years from now. That's all we're doing. Long-term hodder, that's all it means. It goes, I don't know how it's going to happen or why it's going to happen or all his executive decisions. All I think is we are cheap today, and at some point in the next 5 years, we're going to be higher. That's literally all you can do. And everything else, it's up to the rest of the market, friends. So when we see stuff like this, so the PulseChain launch saw a catastrophic sell-off in the whole Richard Heart ecosystem. HEX lost a lot of value. PulseX still crushed. Market is pricing it as one coin, okay? And now I'm just showing you the eHEX chart. So some people look at this and they run away. But I'm just telling you, okay, from here, do you think at some point, some of his executive captain's call decisions, do you think they are going to add value or lose value from today? You know what the best part is, friends, that I've shown you? I've shown you that the prices are so freaking low today that a monkey can make this thing go up. You literally just got to survive until Bitcoin and Ethereum go up. That's how easy it is, but it takes time. That's why I never tell you we're going to be this price in 1 month or 3 months or even 1 year. I don't even play that game. I play the game as buy and hodl, and we'll see where the market takes us. You know where else it's going to take us? To a stronger friendship. Me and you forever. Like, subscribe, bell button, Norman. Catch you in the next one.